Good evening and welcome to the February 19, 2026 meeting of the Town of Foxborough Board of Appeals. This meeting and the public hearing that we will be considering is being broadcast and recorded by Foxboro Cable Access. The time being 7 p.m., Michael Patterson of NextGrid, Inc. requests variances pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Chapter 275 Zoning, Section 4.0, Table 4.1.1, to allow the construction of carports over the existing parking lot at 4 Springbrook Road that will encroach into such properties required front, rear, and side yard setbacks, and such other zoning relief, if any, as the Board of Appeals may determine to be necessary and appropriate. Subject property is located in the limited industrial district and is not in any restrictive overlay district. Gentlemen, tell us who you are.
Good evening. My name is Mike Patterson. I'm from NextGrid. This is Tom Little. He's from APT, our engineering company. Tonight, as you stated, we're here to present our project. It is a proposed rooftop and carport solar array that's located on 10 East Belcher and 4 Springbrook Road.
Okay, I'm going to have you hold for a second, just a couple of administrative points.
Absolutely.
So we're a board of 5, but only 3 of us vote, and that will be Lorraine, Kurt, and me, although all of us will participate. In order to approve the variances, the request, our vote has to be unanimous. Just a couple of corrections. Even though we said table 4.1.1 in the hearing notice, in actuality, it's table 4-2. As far as what the zoning bylaw provides. That's number 1, but don't worry about that. That's just something we'll correct and address in the decision. And number 2 is I'll explain a little bit later. What you need are not front, rear, and side variances, but rather front and side variances. Again, I'll explain that as we go along.
Thank you.
Criteria remains the same, but please go ahead.
Okay, so we're not requesting the rear setback, is what you're saying?
Right, you'll be requesting
Just the front and the side?
front and 2 side.
2 side, understood. As you said, we are requesting relief from Chapter 275, Section 4.2 of the zoning bylaws to allow a change of setbacks. For the front setback, we are requesting the change from 50 foot to 16.9 feet. And then which would be, zoom in some. The carport you can see right there on the bottom portion of the screen. We're requesting a 16.9 foot setback from there. And then regarding the side setback would be the carport right against the parcel, near the parcel line between 4 and 6 Springbrook. We're requesting a 13.1 foot setback.
And the other one would be way at the top.
Would be what it's between the 2 parcels that are owned by the same property owner. It's 2.3 feet.
And again, that's a side yard variance.
It's considered the side yard?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So let me ask you, each one of those sort of grids is what, a separate carport?
Correct.
And the rectangles that are within each grid, what do they represent?
They would represent the solar modules. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. And then the ones you see on the edges that have X's through them, those basically represent modules that would not be connected, but obviously you wouldn't set up a carport with just 2 big holes at the edge.
Go ahead.
Obviously, we don't meet the setbacks. The way it is arranged, as you can see on the property for 4 Springbrook Road, It's an oddly shaped parcel. Almost 50%, or if not 50% of the parcel is covered in wetlands. It significantly limits the area that we could use, that we could put carports. And obviously, we arranged the carports so they would be directly over already existing parking spaces. So with this layout, we follow the parking area layout, and we do not interrupt or take away any of the existing parking spaces, which obviously we need to avoid. Since, as you've noticed, there's very limited parking at this and at both parcels. This is one of the only areas in which we could install. There is almost no space on 10 East Belcher. If you look at the northeast side of 10 East Belcher, there is, go to the east side. You can see there is space, but that entire area is the leach field for the septic system of the building. So obviously we cannot build any type of structure in that area. Along the north side, there's no real place to put them there either. So that is why we've designed it where it is, and that's why we're here requesting a variance for the setbacks.
So how high would the carports actually be?
So they would be 15 feet at the low end on the bottom and approximately 22 feet at the top on the high end. The low end is specifically so it does not cause any issues for the fire department to drive their vehicles around the parking area. So with this layout, they can drive completely under without any issues.
It's pitched for drainage, I presume, or something?
Correct. So it is a pass-through system. It'll be pitched, but it doesn't have decking, so water can just flow through.
Okay, got it.
And the modules themselves, what are they? What do they consist of?
They are basically aluminum frames and then two large pieces of glass, and between that glass is sandwiched silicon. And then there's a couple copper wires that stick out of it that connect, and then are connected what's called combiners. So they combine the power generation from each individual module and then send it back and connect to the system itself.
Okay. And the purpose of this is to service, obviously, the skating rink.
No, so we lease space from the rink for their roof and then the property, and then the power generation is connected directly to the grid.
Okay. How much power does this generate? Just curiosity.
It's very embarrassing. I had this written down somewhere else. Okay, 1.8 megawatts,
Really?
or 1,897 kilowatts DC. But then I believe that's what comes directly from the modules, but then it goes through an inverter and it's reduced.
So does this provide power to the building, then sells the XF, or all the XF?
It all goes directly to the grid.
Okay.
So you're leasing, what, basically air rights, I assume, over the parking lot?
Correct. Air
Okay.
rights over. We don't control or operate the parking underneath.
Okay, and there's nothing that's going into the Foxborough Center, Sports Center at all, as far as power?
No.
Okay. Okay.
What is the life expectancy of this project?
20 years.
20
20 years is, we do, it's called an interconnection service agreement with the utility, and it's a contract that states that they will buy all the power from us, from this project, for 20 years. After 20 years, it's usually decommissioned. The funny thing is that, the panels themselves, they have like a warranty of like 25 years that they won't drop production below, I think it's like 97% of what the original production was. So solar panels are getting better and better. I mean, honestly, if you left these things, they could generate power for 50 years.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for decommissioning when that happens?
That would be us.
That would be you.
And the ongoing maintenance would be you as well?
Also us. We hire an operations and maintenance company, and they come, they do twice a year inspections over the entire system, make sure everything's operational. It is also has a monitoring service, so it's all connected back to a central monitoring company. Excuse me. And they would monitor, its operation, its production, if there's any type of issues that, need to be reported. So
And I presume whoever owns, do you own the building too, or?
no, we do not.
So if somebody who owns the property of the building, if they sell that, is this part, is your deal still in effect, you know what I mean? Like-
Yes, it is. There's language in the lease that basically says we have continued quiet enjoyment of, our,
I was just thinking if we had
System.
to put something in the decision that says that if it was sold,
Mhm.
the same
Yeah.
conditions apply or something.
Yeah.
Are these agreements for the leases in place already? It's not subject to approval for this project?
it is
Or
currently in the works. They're just going back and forth on some specific language,
Okay.
and then it'll be signed off.
And you said it's for the roof of the building as well as the parking lot?
Correct.
Okay.
And how long would this take to construct all of this?
Probably, I'd say 3 to 4 months max. I mean, civil work for the ground, and then obviously a significant amount of work on the roof. Also part of it is we have to replace the entire roof.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's not in great condition.
Like a membrane roof or something?
I believe so, yes. It's a TPO membrane roof.
So is there a bank of batteries here that store the power before it goes?
So,
Grid, or-
yes, there is you go there.
In that upper left, in that northwest corner, is that what I'm looking at
First
there?
pull in,
Yeah.
it's like-
Yeah, so that'll be all of the equipment we're taught, so inverters, combiners, recombiners, and then a battery. So it's basically like the associated electrical equipment that goes with the solar array, and then a battery system as well. Battery system, so as I said, it's like 1.8 megawatts. It's oversized DC-wise, so additional power can be into the batteries, so then it can provide power, I think it's like 2 to 3 hours post-sunset.
I want to go back to it's the 2.3 setback, and maybe you can blow it up a little bit in that area. The other carports, are they within 25 feet also? The one next to it, and then
Yes,
they are as well?
yes, they would all be, I mean, something is the setbacks is from the property line between 10 East Belcher and 4 Springbrook, so you called it a side setback, not a rear setback?
Yeah, and I'll explain that in a minute.
Okay,
But all 4 of them are within 25 feet?
correct.
Okay, so we really need variances not just for 3. We need variances for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 altogether. Correct?
Does it have to be a variance for all 3 individual, or just the minimum distance of the
No, all
close?
3. All 3. I mean, it's the same criteria again, but it's all 3.
Understood.
So the reason we're talking side and not rear is what you have here is a corner lot. You've got, you abut, or the property abuts, both Springbrook Road and East Belcher Road.
Understood.
And according to section 4.2.4.3 of the zoning bylaw, which deals with corner lots, yards that abut upon streets shall be considered front yards. And what we do as a sort of practical matter is, again, you have a corner lot, you have 2 front yards, one abutting each street, and instead of having a rear and a side, it's 2 side yards. That's what we do as a practical matter.
Okay.
So that's why you don't need the rear yard variance, but, you would need the side yard variance for the, I guess it would be the northerly section of the premises,
Understood, okay.
okay? And again, criteria is the same, though, same legal criteria as far as a variance, but, so what we're talking about are side yard front yard variance for the carport that is proximate to Springbrook Road, side yard for the carport that is proximate to 6 Springbrook Road, and then side yards for the 4 that are proximate to
10
the
East
10 East
Belcher.
Belcher.
Okay.
Okay.
And I apologize, I'm not sure if I mentioned, we did receive a letter from, okay.
Actually, why don't I read that into the record right now? It's a letter dated February 18, 2026, directed to the Board of Appeals regarding the application for variance. Applicant Mike Pattison, property 4 Springbrook Road. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 Springbrook Road owner LLC, the owner of the property at 6 Springbrook Road, supports the above-referenced application for variance. Our property abuts the 4 Springbrook Road property, and we have no objection to the yard variances being requested by the applicant, specifically the reduction of the 25-foot side yard setback requirement to 13.1 feet on the side abutting 6 Springbrook Road property. We urge the Board of Appeals to grant the requested variances to the applicant. Sincerely, 6 Springbrook Road owner LLC by Adrian Golek, whose title is manager. Any other questions?
No.
Scott?
My only concern is there going to be any identification on that battery storage in case of an incident happens, so the fire department can
Yes, it'll
contact
have,
the direct?
they'll have
local
emergency placards. It'll also have,
Meet an NFPA.
there'll be a number, like the contact number for the operation and maintenance company, as well as the, oh my God. Words. It'll basically connection for any type of, for our subject matter experts, so if they need any help with the system. It'll also have placards basically labeling all of the individual equipment, where the specific shutoffs are as well. And then just as a note, if something happens, because this thing is 24/7 monitored, it does tests on itself. So let's say there's a voltage fluctuation. It can shut itself down automatically. Okay. Basically, it shuts itself down, notifies the monitoring company, and then they will send somebody out. And we usually have a proximity of, they can be on site within 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it notifies them, then they can notify the fire department and police department as needed.
My other question is there a fire suppression system
Yes.
that goes into that as well?
There is an automated aerosol system, so it can automatically flood itself with a firefighting aerosol.
Okay.
It's also, battery systems these days are quite robust, so it has triple level containment. It is a liquid cooled system. It has, I believe it's a 1 to 2 hour burn rate for the container itself, meaning no, basically a direct flame can be applied to it for an hour and it will not burn through.
Gotcha.
Is
Thank
it
you.
a concrete structure or something that's in, or?
Say again?
Is the building, is like constructed out of some kind of a reinforced material like concrete or?
It's a steel container. So it's a steel container and then installed on top of a concrete pad.
Oh, all right, cool, got it.
So let me go back to those 4 at the top, and maybe, Mr. Little, you can give us some estimates here. We've got the grid that is closest to the East Belcher property, as well as closest to the wetlands. It's 2.3 feet at its closest point to the lot line. Can you estimate what the others are? Yep.
I would say probably 8 feet, and then 18 feet for the furthest one to the right, to the east. So 8 feet, 8 feet, and then probably 18 feet,
Okay.
approximately.
Yes, it's a good estimation to me. Try and look at the, this, whatchamacallit.
I mean, I tried to measure it this afternoon with a ruler, but I wasn't too successful.
My wife's caught me a couple times.
Other than it was less than,
My wife has walked by multiple times when I had a ruler up against my computer screen. She was
Yeah.
wondering what I was doing.
But we'll say, we'll say 8 feet, 8 feet,
18.
and 18, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask a couple of other questions, and I think I sort of misheard what your response to Kurt's question was before, as far as how much power is generated.
It's 1,800 and I think 67 kilowatts DC, or also known as like 1.8 megawatts, and then it's where is it? Sorry, apologize. I'm gonna log into my phone real quick and I can tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is 1,897 kilowatts DC, and that comes directly from all the solar panels, and then that goes to an inverter where it's stepped down to 999 kilowatts AC, and then that AC power is what connects directly to the grid, and then the additional is funneled through to the battery to charge it. Also, it's not very often that these panels will be producing at their maximum capacity. So that's why they usually oversize them, so that when it is stepped down, you can stick with a consistent AC power connection.
I see.
So if we were to require you to comply with the setbacks, obviously there's going to be smaller carports, less modules. Sort of roughly, how does that impact the power that's generated? I mean, it reduces it, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it complicated because, so the far one on the eastern side, we would lose
The entire thing, probably.
the entire
Yeah.
thing. The bottom one also, that would be completely gone. This one would lose a good portion. I mean, we would lose, God, let's see here. I'm gonna have to do some math.
And I'm not asking this academically. There's a reason, as
Understood.
we'll get to it.
Yes, and a third,
Lose a third.
I'm guessing.
That's my question about other design options.
So we'd lose approximately 200 kilowatts.
Is that the AC or step down, or is that the
That's the DC.
DC? Okay.
You lose approximately 200? So you go from 1897 to 1697?
Correct, approximately.
Okay.
15%, 14%.
That was one of my questions too. I assume this was designed this way to get maximum coverage to generate as much power as you can, given the space you had.
That, it's also the finances of it, because we have to pay for the roof replacement. It's one of the agreements, so
Okay.
the roof is $500,000 replacement.
Okay, so that kind of answers my follow-up to, we designed it this, if you couldn't do it the way it's designed, it might not be worth doing.
Yeah, I mean, they're expensive to build, so this is gonna
Right.
cost us millions of dollars to build. The percent, like the profit margin is
Sure.
not as high as you'd think, plus, we have to pay. Yeah, so they design it and they come up with a number, like, this is what we can do, this is what we can offer. So we have to pay them to lease the space, but we also have to absorb the cost of the roof replacement.
Understood, thanks.
So you're saying it would not be financially feasible?
I don't know what it'd be, but it would change the numbers.
Okay. Okay. I think, Eric, you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
Yeah, is it viable to do it?
Yep.
If you remove that? Yeah.
So, any other questions or comments? Scott, you all set?
I have one more question. What's to prohibit them from selling that lot and then having this variance? Because that variance is gonna be contingent with that lot,
Well,
Because they're
variance runs
two-
with the land.
the land, but they're two separate lots, correct?
They are.
So wetland, the wetland corner lot?
Yeah. If what's prevent them from selling that now? Who would own that solar?
We would still own it.
Yeah, okay. It was just more of a comment,
Yeah, what you're asking is if,
because now that if you grant the variance, that variance is gonna go with that single lot.
With that
If it's
lot.
sold.
right,
It's more of a legal,
yeah, well, again, I would think that's something that would be covered in your legal documents vis-à-vis the owner of the property. But from a zoning standpoint, again, the variance runs with the land, so it would remain in effect.
but only for this specific project.
Yeah.
It's a different owner than,
Yeah,
No,
if you-
right now, they're owned by the same party.
Yeah.
okay, got it, okay.
I'm just saying,
What if it was
I'm just
sold
thinking
off?
if they were to sell it off,
Yeah.
like sell this property and then sell to another entity this property. I'm just throwing it out there.
Understood. I mean, I think that would be, if they sold the southern lot,
That's actually their parking, isn't it?
yeah,
Oh,
they
so
would
they
no longer
couldn't-
be operational because there'd be zero parking for their.
Wouldn't there be an issue with, if he'd get rid of his parking, wouldn't there be a zoning violation if he doesn't have
Correct.
adequate
That's
parking
where I
for
was
the
going.
facility
Yeah.
that's being?
That's where I was going.
Parking's really tight in there anyway, so.
Yeah, and then if you sold that part, you'd literally have no parking.
Although I read the two planning board decisions relative to this, and they really don't get into it, into the parking issues. So, anyhow,
I would love to see the lot line removed. But
yeah.
then you wouldn't require variance.
Again, any other questions? We have a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, tell me why we should grant a variance,
Why you should grant a variance?
or why we should grant 7 variances, or whatever the number were. 6,
We live in Massachusetts. We're very big proponents of renewable energy. This is a great project. It does not disturb any additional land. It doesn't change the existing usage of the land. We're following the existing parking spot, so there's going to be no change of the usage, no additional disturbances. We're not going to be disturbing any of the other property owners. There is a screening area. It's commercial. You'd be helping us out.
Is the contractor a local contractor or a Massachusetts contractor who's this together? Or?
I'm not sure. It's funny because I was actually at another meeting with a guy, and he lives here in Foxborough, and he was asking about. So usually the contractors we hire an EPC, and then they hire contractors
Got it, yeah.
here.
Okay.
So no, I don't think people
They
are coming.
have to be Massachusetts licensed.
Is that, okay, yeah.
You would be helping Foxborough out as well. Obviously, this brings additional financial revenue to the town of Foxborough, which is good for the town. Did I mention you'd be helping me out?
Well, you improve the parking too, because it's, if you park under the shade or you don't get snowed on or
Exactly.
rained on.
We're helping people protect their cars from hail and snow, sun. We could possibly be reducing skin cancer.
Never thought of that one. Well, that's all well and good, but we got to get to the zoning issues. So let me take a stab. So there are three criteria we have to deal with variances. The first one is something unique about the property, as far as its shape or soil conditions or topography. And I think it's unique in two respects. Number one would be the fact that the shape itself is odd, but perhaps more importantly, you've got the wetlands, and that dictates where the parking area is, and obviously dictates where your structures are going to be. I'm going to skip over the second one because that's the most difficult one to deal with. The third criteria is that really has to be consistent with the purposes of the zoning bylaw. And there's nothing here that I see as being detrimental to the bylaw. Certainly the climate needs more green energy, notwithstanding the fact that this is a small portion of it. Every step is important, and I think that's important to the town and the welfare of the town residents. And I don't see anything detrimental here to the bylaw itself. The more important thing is the second criteria, which is there has to be a tie-in between the features of the land and some hardship to the applicant, meaning if we were to require you to comply with the bylaw, is there some hardship that you would bear that's financial or otherwise? And I think, Eric, your question was directly, to that point. That was what I was, thinking as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the question I had as far as the decrease in the power, and then with Eric's follow-up relative to the financial aspects, I think there is financial hardship here in the sense that if we were to require you to comply with all of the setback requirements, it would be a significant financial detriment to you. Might make the project itself financially unfeasible and therefore, not doable. So we want to go right to left or left to right? You want to start, Eric?
I mean, that was my main question about the, essentially that cost basis analysis that you talked about and how, I guess my question was initially what were if any other design options were considered, and it sounds like your answer to that is it wouldn't be worth doing. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you had to get rid of those carports. So, I mean, my questions were answered, so.
Right.
I don't have any concerns with it.
Kurt?
Same thing Eric said, yes, understanding that if we remove those, it may make the project not financially viable. I think it's a 14%, 15% reduction in the amount of panels if they comply. It's significant.
Blair?
Yeah, just, I would second what Kurt had to say. I think that, a reduction there certainly has a significant impact.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is suggest that we approve not just the requested variances, but the additional ones. And what I would suggest are several conditions. The first one would be that the carports be situated on the property as shown. And I think what we're going to do is attach the overall site plan as an exhibit to the decision.
Okay.
But have the carport situated on the property as shown in the overall site plan, such that the setbacks for the proposed carports that are the subject of this matter shall be as follows. And I think what we're going to need to do is name them according to how you show them here. For example, proposed solar carport, 85 modules. And indicate that the one at the far left, again, going up to the lot line next to the East Belcher property, the one at the far left be no closer to the lot line than 2.3 feet. The next one be no closer than 8 feet. The next one no closer than 8 feet. And the next one no closer than 18 feet as far as their side yard setbacks. Specify that the side yard setback that is proximate to the 6 Springbrook Road property be no closer than 13.1 feet at its closest point, and that the carport that is proximate to Springbrook Road be no closer to the lot line, to its front yard lot line, than 16.9 feet. So that way we'll deal with each individually, variance provided for each individual carport.
Okay.
The second condition would be that you obtain site plan approval relative to the construction and location of the carports from the Town of Foxborough Planning Board, and obtain such determinations, orders, or permits relating thereto from the Town of Foxborough Conservation Commission as they may require. I understand that you're online to meet with the Planning Board next week?
Yes, we have a hearing next week, and then our Conservation Commission application is going to be submitted, I think, early next week for, I believe, to be on the March 9th Conservation Commission hearing.
Okay. So the second condition would be that you obtain those approvals, from Planning Board and Conservation. Anything else? What else?
Just about the transfer of ownership, that this will survive. I guess I don't know how to word that. If the bill, it'll survive the sale of the property or something like that? Any
Or is
potential
that
sale?
automatic? Is that automatic?
I don't know, is that automatic? Or do we need to-
With the lot?
we need
with
to
the
actually
land?
put that down?
I mean, the variance may remain in effect.
I mean, all of our leases have specific language because we lease space from people.
Yeah.
Obviously, people sell buildings all the time.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. But this variance would survive that sale, right?
Yeah, the variances
Okay.
will remain in effect, so
Okay.
that there's,
Because it goes with the property.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't think of anything that would, let's put it this way, if you think of anything, I'll tell the planning board for next week. So I think those two would cover it,
Okay.
okay? So just a motion to approve
Motion to approve the variances as described,
with those conditions.
those conditions.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we'll draft an opinion. As you probably know, it's got to be filed in the Registry of Deeds. There's a 20-day appeal period. I suspect probably sometime next week we can get it filed with the town clerk. Diana is the administrator for the planning board. So
I've emailed her a few times.
She'll see you next week, but you'll
Yes, she
obviously
will.
inform them that we approve the requisite variances. And if you need anything in writing, approved it. If we haven't had the decision signed and filed by that point, just let us know.
Awesome.
Quick question.
Yeah,
If all goes according to plan, what's the timeline for completing this project?
So it looks like our permitting, as long as Conservation Commission closes in one hearing, our hope is permitting will be done end of March. Then it gets submitted for financial due diligence. That takes 60, 90 days. They want to see literally everything. Hopefully construction late summer.
Okay.
Is that including with the roof, or?
Obviously, yeah, the roof has to be done first. So, yeah, and that'll get taken care of first.
And you mentioned that does the town earn revenue from the electricity sale?
My understanding is like there's something called like a pilot, which
Okay.
is payment in lieu of taxes.
Okay, all right.
So
Plus there'll be permit fees.
Yeah.
that's right. He's going to get lots of money from us.
Lots.
Does, the planning board, obviously, the site plan is with this property. Is it also for the East Belcher as far as the roof, or is that?
Well, the roof doesn't need a site plan, because that just is a repair. That would require just a building permit,
Okay.
because it's already there.
And they don't need a special permit for any reason for that, do they? To put
For the
solar on
roof? No,
Okay,
no, because rooftop is allowed by right.
okay. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And congratulations, you dropped the amount of skin cancer in this area.
Potentially.
Potentially. That's right. You got to protect yourself.
Okay, minutes from, when was it, Diane? December?
December 18th. Or amended by you. I have added those amendments.
Okay, any questions, comments? Motion to approve it?
Motion to approve minutes?
All in favor?
Abstain.
You weren't there. You abstained?
Abstain.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to abstain if you weren't there.
And nothing in yet for next month?
No. Mr. Barker has been back. He just comes with random ideas. So I told him he needs to narrow it down to one. Scott sent him a letter to narrow it down to one. And the billboard people, I presume they're working on plans.
Okay. They have till next Friday, right?
Yeah.
Maybe next month, maybe not.
Nothing else floating around now.
No, that I'm aware of. Give me time.
Did the guy ever come back for the hairdresser across the street here?
Why don't we adjourn and then talk about that?
Oh, sorry, okay.
Motion to adjourn? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.